Welcome back. This is Miss Serratus, and in this video, we are going to look at part 4 of the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire project. So as you can see, I went ahead and changed all my backgrounds. I decided to put the logo on my title slide with a black background so it'd stand out. And for each of my question slides, I decided to go with a darker background, but I was really, really careful to make sure that we can actually read the words. Because remember, it's not the backgrounds. The background's supposed to be adding to your project, not take away. And the other thing I did was make sure to space this out so that we would actually have room for our questions. Next, I'm going to show you how to add the action buttons. Action buttons basically are little buttons that tell PowerPoint what to do. So let's go through it and then it might make more sense as we do it. So one way to add an action button is to go to the Insert menu, go to Shapes, click on the little drop down, and you see lots of cool shapes, and you could use those as action buttons if you'd like. But let's go down to the bottom where it says action buttons, and each of these buttons has little pictures on them. I like to go to the plain one. You notice my mouse turned into a plus sign, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw out a box. And when I let go, this action setting dialog box automatically opened up. It's asking me to program this button, to add a hyperlink. When someone were to click on this option, PowerPoint needs to know where to go. Hardware, I know, is the wrong answer to this question. The reason why I know that is because when we added the questions, we made sure to change the correct answer to a different color. So software is the correct answer. So since hardware is the wrong answer, I need to program it so it goes to the last slide. Because remember, we added one slide at the end that said wrong answer. So that's where the wrong answer slide is at the end. I click the hyperlink to, I click this drop down, and I go to last slide. So anytime anyone clicks on that button, it'll automatically take them to the last slide. Now, other things that I can do is format this box. I notice that when I click on the box, the drawing tools show up and so does format. When I unclick, it goes away. So whenever you see something like that happens, a toolbar showing up with color, that tells you that these tools relates to the box itself. You might actually have to click the word format to get the tools. So I see that I can change the color of the box if I'd like. I could also do that right here to change the color of the box. You can do any kind of programming that you like. It's whatever school appropriate and makes sense to you. There are lots of options. I could actually, for example, put a thick line, and maybe I want the thick line to be dashed up, and maybe I want to change the color of that to like a gold type effect. And there's your button. Once you have spent all this time making a button, you need to do 3 more. So I'm going to click on it and do Control C to copy it. I'm going to unclick and do Control V to paste, Control V to paste, Control V to paste. I needed to paste several of them so that we would have 4. And I'm going to use the guidelines that pop up to help me line them up nicely. I make sure to put each box next to each answer choice. And the guidelines show me that everything's lined up. And now I've got 4 boxes, but I've got a problem. Remember, the last answer is incorrect. So it is the correct answer, I'm sorry, but the box is incorrect. We don't want people who click on that box to go to the last slide. What we do want them to do is go to a slide that says, congratulations, you've got the right answer. And if you remember, that slide is right after the question, because after every single question, you made one congratulations slide. So here's how we're going to fix it. We're going to right click, and we're not going to remove the hyperlink. We're going to edit the hyperlink, and bam, that brings up the same box that we saw earlier. This time, instead of going to last slide, I'm going to go to next slide and click OK. And as you can see, we now have 4 buttons. 3 of them are programmed to go to the wrong answer slide, which is the last slide. And this one is programmed to go to the next slide. So now that you've done that, you set up your buttons, you made them look all pretty, you can actually cheat. Copy and paste them, remember the programming, and then add them to the different slides. Keep in mind that you have to change the color. You don't want to give away the answer by leaving the font at red. So I'm just going to go ahead and change it to match my other ones, which is all black. And for some reason, I didn't change that, but I'll work on that afterwards. So make sure you go through and change your colors. What I want to do now is show you a different way of adding an action button. Those buttons are really cute and you can feel free to use them, but maybe you want to be more creative and you want to use a picture instead. So then that's what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm on my question slide. I go to Insert. I go to Online Picture. And I think I want to search for $1,000 bill. Let's see what I get. Ooh, I like this one. I click on it, I get insert, and there we have it, $1,000 bill. It's a little too big for what I need, so I'm going to make it a little smaller, and I'm going to put it right there. Now all I got to do is program it. So one way to program it is to click on it, go to Insert, and then you have this button called Action. Click on it, hyperlink, everything is the same. That's the wrong answer. It goes to the last slide, and I'm happy with it. I could go ahead and add a border around it, make any kind of changes to it if I wanted to, but I don't. So I'm just going to go ahead and Control V and make sure I put it into place. I actually Control V too many times, so you only need 3 of them. So I'm going to hit my delete key to get rid of one. There we go. And I just line up the monies. And I might have to make it a little smaller. You decide what makes sense. Just make sure they all look nice. And of course, don't forget, you've got to change this to black. And now I've got to go ahead and change this programming. Again, edit the hyperlink. Let's go again. Doesn't seem to be working. We'll go to Insert Action instead. And remember, this is the correct answer, so it needs to go to the next slide. And I click OK. You can do programming to anything. I could use word art and program that. I could use other type of pictures and program that. The options are endless. You decide. So now go through and add some action buttons. 4 buttons per slide. 10 slides comes out to 40. But there's one other button you've got to do. Let's go down to the last slide. I've got a lot going on here. Don't worry about it. Let's just worry about this button here. This button allows us to go back and try again. So if someone gets the answer wrong, they're automatically taken to this slide. So I'm going to click on it. Again, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the Insert, Action. And this time, in order to redo the question, you want to go to Last Slide Viewed. That's how you want to program the button. Last slide view, click OK. And so when kids click on this button, let me do that one more time, it'll take them to the last slide viewed. And this way they can answer the question again. So click here to try again. When you do it, it'll do it. Now, a lot of kids are like, I'm clicking on my buttons and nothing is happening. That's because the buttons don't work in this mode. In order to see how your buttons are programmed, you have to actually run your PowerPoint. The easy way to run your PowerPoint is to do an F5. That'll run the PowerPoint. That'll bring you to your buttons. Again, make sure you change the font color. Software is correct. I click on it. It takes me to the congratulations slide. So now, go ahead and do your action buttons. When you're done, you should have 41 action buttons. Good luck.